Your finest hour. Oh, Jesus, fuck. Well, that got fucked up.
Go again.
Welcome to the Not Your Finest Hour podcast, where we use top-notch recording equipment to make sure that you have the best audio experience possible.
Because the last two episodes that we aired were full of feedback where people just said, "What's wrong with Mike's microphone?" Right?
We're getting better, though. Every episode you listen to is going to only get better. I think that we can not quite guarantee, but count on it.
Mike, you cannot be the 170th most downloaded business podcast in Canada and not get better every week. Like that kind of inspirational subscribership, it's just crazy. 170th most downloaded podcast, business podcast, not all just business in Canada. In Canada. Yeah, we need to
in Canada specifically.
Is there like a more like concise grouping on there that we could be a part of? Like, what is the least amount of podcasts per area? Like, it's like yoga podcasts. There's only 5, so we could pretend we're yoga podcast and say we're the 6th most downloaded yoga podcast in Canada. Like, just because there's only 5 other ones. Like, I feel like that would maybe present a better opportunity for us to make the top 10 if that was like the case.
Well, I would say that we're the 170th most downloaded podcast in general, but we didn't make that chart. So that's why we settled for the business category in Canada specifically.
How many business podcasts registered in Canada are there?
It's not
that's
specific
the real
to
question.
It's not specific to like we are in Canada. It's specific to like Canadian listeners listening in Canada.
Okay, so that is actually maybe across North America.
Well, no, that's worldwide. Well, like that's worldwide podcasts. So out of all of the podcasts, Canadians are listening to us the 170th most in specifically the business podcast category.
How high does the number go? Like, is there a 308 or does it cap out at 170? And we're like,
I don't know how many business podcasts there are. Who knows?
This is a super fucked up metric. Like, Canadian people downloading worldwide podcasts. Like, this is can you get a lot of subscribers talking about how many subscribers you have? Is that like a thing?
I mean, I'm sure we can hype it up and start sharing it more. I can go off on, like, we made the Australia entrepreneurship category. We were in the top 200 in that. I don't know exactly the rank, but that's another one. And entrepreneurship is even more niche than business. So you go like business podcasts, but then among that is like the entrepreneurship category. So we're getting even more and more.
We need to niche this motherfucker down.
Has anyone from Australia reached out to you guys? Like, who is this person listening from Australia?
We do have some reviews. It might be good to go through some of our reviews eventually, but I unfortunately think the 3 reviews were left by the 3 of us. So
no, my mom left one.
Yeah, I asked my mom to leave one too.
So that's probably what Mom Landscape is.
Oh, so, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I guess we can give a shout out to Mom Landscape for a fine hour of listening to people's finest hour ! So thank you so much, Mom Landscape, for that review. I think the other 2 are from the 2 of us, at least. At least I see my name there, so I won't read that one.
Oh, were you embarrassed about what you wrote? You didn't think about it?
I didn't think it left my full name, so I thought it would be more so like, this is what is needed. Not our finest hour could be these guys' finest hour. And then it left my full name. I was hoping, I could read that as if somebody was really wanting us. But leaving Mike Pletz there kind of gives that away.
I feel like we need to start this hour with a question for Chad.
Uh-oh.
And it is, trash pumps, hot or not?
Okay. So.
Well, no, hot or not?
Hot? I don't know.
Like, are they hot or are they not hot?
Are they hot? I don't know how to answer that.
Well,
I'll tell you my story. Then you tell me if it's a hot or a no.
Okay. Okay.
So I went into RSI a month ago. I said, I need a trash pump. We're trying to fill up the water truck faster, all this stuff, right? I says, we have nothing, we can order you one. He says, how big? I say, they have a 2-inch in stock, not fast enough. They have a 1-inch in stock, which is like a garden hose size. I said, give me a 3-inch. We'll go with that. I left the store. He called me back. He goes, do you want a full trash pump or a semi-trash pump? And I'm not a water guy, right? I don't know the difference. I said, give me a full trash pump. Which I apparently it just means bigger shit can go through the pump without blowing it up, right? So he called me yesterday, said your trash pump's in. I get there and the thing is fucking ginormous. It's like takes 2 people to carry this thing. Don't know how I'm going to carry it down to the river when it's time to fucking fill the trash pump. So now I got this useless fucking giant 3-inch trash pump, all because I didn't know the difference between a full trash pump, which is apparently 400 pounds, and a half or a semi trash pump, which is like 200 pounds. So anyway, we're gonna keep it, but we got a trash pump that's
So I would say full trash pumps, not hot.
not hot.
Too heavy.
Semi trash pumps.
Hot.
I love how the guy asked you semi or full, and like, of course, full. Like, give me the full.
Of course, full. Yeah, of course.
Without even asking her.
I didn't know that there was a 200-pound difference between the two of them.
I like for me, even if the semi pump was 200 pounds, I don't want to hawk that thing down to the river.
If you need water, you'll do some incredible things. Like
I have needed water in my life. I'm just saying that seems like fucking heavy as fuck.
that's normal for us. Like, I mean,
They grow them different in Cornwall.
they grown. We've done it before where, like, we've had our water truck, right? We'll park it down by the creek or whatever, and our water guy will be filling with the trash pump, semi-trash pump, because we couldn't carry the big one down there, and he'd be there with a pail for an hour, cursing, trying to prime this pump,
Yes.
and there'll be kids fishing down the fucking creek or something, and they're listening to this guy swearing for an hour, just trying to fill the trash pump.
I want to point out that Chad has all the permits needed to pump water into a container from a creek. Just
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah.
We do.
And his tank has a drop in it with an air gap, so the water hasn't so the water can't backflow into the pipe and go
You're
into
right.
the creek. Like there's, I just want to say there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes
Behind the scenes.
while this guy is trying to prime the pump and swear. Like there's a couple things, like definitely had a permit to pump out of a public creek and definitely had an air gap in the tank, and there wasn't just a hose draped into the tank that could possibly suck chemicals from the tank back into the river.
This is
None
a
of that-
Walkerton scenario. This is
None of that
completely-
was going on.
Yeah, none of that was going on. No, it was
Totally.
completely legit, legal. We looked into it. It's fine. We talked to the right people. We were
We got the
Every-
paperwork.
everything was A1 except for the swearing.
Is there
every-
not like out by us now, you can just, well, you have to have an approved setup that they take pictures of and then you have to use it. But they have like a couple things where the water comes super fast and you just put in like $10 or whatever and they fill the tank.
Where, like, from a pumping station?
Yeah, it's
Or-
like that's a good way to describe it. Pumping station.
Yeah, we have pumping stations too, but we burn through thousands of dollars worth of water a year. And sometimes when we're out of town, there's no pumping station far away. We used to be able to fill up in Ottawa at like specific hydrants, but you have
Yes.
to have like a backflow preventer and all this stuff, and the hydrant had to be numbered, and you have to have a special ticket on your window and all that.
Well, you have all that stuff, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
Absolutely, we do.
It's fine.
We're
Do you
cowboys, but not all the time.
do you think that the full trash pump would suck a fish through it that a kid caught and then suck the line through, and that would cause a problem with the kids fishing while the guy's swearing because the fish got sucked because it's a full pump?
Mike, you could stick your arm in this pump. Like, it's 3 inches around. Like, you could, if you needed to unclog it, you could probably if you were dumb enough, you could try while it was still going.
How much was the pump?
$3,000.
How long do you think it will take you to recoup that $3,000? And I feel like your trash pump and my cube of DEF fluid are almost on par with how long it's going to take to recoup this fucking your money from that. Like,
No, so here's my reasoning behind it. Like, I paid the bill fine after realizing that this thing is impossible to do anything with. We're digging a pond at the yard. It's going to hold water all year, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be able to keep that 3-inch pump. We'll bolt it to a concrete slab or something so no one comes and steals it. Not that they could anyway, unless they had a fucking machine to get this thing into their truck. But
it's like a waterborne roller tamper.
yeah. So anyway, we'll be able to pump quickly from our pond into the trucks with a
Illegally
3-inch
dug
pump.
pond
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
with all the permits.
With all the permits, yeah.
Are you going to
Sweet.
release goldfish in the pond so they'll grow into koi?
Do you think they
That'd
would?
be cool.
I don't know. Maybe.
Do
Do
you have
goldfish
to have
grow into
the?
koi?
Well, that's what koi are, aren't they? Goldfish.
Oh,
I thought they
didn't
were
know that.
carp.
Well, that's what carp are.
Aren't they
Goldfish.
catfish?
No, I don't think so. Okay, I don't know anything. I feel like I'm putting an opinion out here on fish that I don't know anything. I thought koi were just really huge goldfish.
No, they're different. They got to be different.
Yeah, they got to be different.
I think they're closer to catfish than goldfish.
I don't know.
What's a carp? Because I would think they're closer to carp than catfish.
Have you ever had a
Is
pond
it carp
person
and
on another
catfish?
podcast? Can you,
we could shoot a message to somebody after this. This is inconsequential to the water pump story. Keep going with that pond idea that you're going off of, Chad.
There's no story. We're
Oh, okay.
digging a pond in the fall if we have time. And sure, I'll try putting some fish in it. They will definitely go through the pump though at 3 inches. But the problem is once the fish is in the tank and there's no water left in the tank, how do you get the fish out of the tank?
that's an ugly situation.
That's a stinky situation.
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause
really,
it gets-
anything that gets sucked through the 3-inch pump is going to end up in the tank.
Yeah. But if it's small,
I don't feel like people use trash pumps to fill water tanks.
what do they use trash pumps for?
I'm assuming to pump trashy water from from one swamp to another or something. I don't know.
From one, it has to go somewhere in between, right? Like
I don't.
you must pump it into a truck and then send it somewhere, or do you just pump it out of a basement into the city sewer? I don't know.
We were doing a pond on a job last year and we had to get the water out because we fucked up the liner, which I said, like, I don't know anything about ponds or liners. You should get someone else to build this repetitively. And everyone was like, no, that's good. I'm like, it's not. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Like, I don't think that this, like, 40,000 square foot pond is the place for me to learn. Like, I don't think this is like the place where the average person learns how to build a fucking pond. Anyways, we had to pump the water out of it several times because we fucked things up. And I don't think it was 3-inch. It was a bigger pump, but I don't think it was 3 inches. And we pumped the water over the side of the pond into the swamp next door where the
Legally.
salmon. Oh,
Legally.
God, yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, obviously, we pumped it through sandbags and filter fence and
Yeah.
obviously, like, and there was absolutely no salmon running in the river where we pumped it into either.
Of course not. There may have been some goldfish.
I checked. There was no salmon there, like at least twice. I that's what we did. I think that's what you do with it, I guess. Like, 'cause it must pump a massive volume of water.
3 inches is just as big as our filtration plant pump. So if you hook up to the city pump,
What made you think you needed this?
I want to work faster, right? Like
Like, how fast do you want to fill the tank? 13 seconds?
we were using, it's a big tank. It's last time we had to fill up. We're an hour away from home. Watering sod passed our our warranty date because commercial contracting. So I'm trying to figure out how we can do this faster. And the answer in my head was a 3-inch full trash pump instead of anything smaller, because the 2-inch was taking 2 hours to fill the tank.
Did the
2
conversation
hours.
between the two of you with the high flow, gas thing that we had on the podcast prompt you to think about how you could do something else faster? Is this what prompted the trash pump?
I thought at one point it did cross my mind that yes, this high flow trash
It's high,
pump would
it's high flow.
be the answers to all my problems.
Like,
But-
I guess in theory, if you bolted it to the truck and then just got a really long suction hose.
Yeah. The problem with suction hoses though is that they're rigid.
Yeah, they're horrible.
And they're so you either get the truck really close to where you're
To
pumping
the
from.
pond. That's really
the
putting
pond.
the truck really close to the pond isn't a sharp idea.
Not a good idea. We got trucks stuck before getting them too close to the pond.
We have like a whole bunch of people that call us for fill, and they've got all their legal permits and they need this fill. Random people, and they need like 3 or 4 loads of legally distributed fill in our area. And so I pull up on this one house. Some guy texts Christy and was like, "Oh, I need 2 loads of fill." So I pull up on this house, and the guy's waving me in. Just drive on in, drive on in. And I'm like, I don't think that's a great idea. It's right beside a pond. So I get out, and the guy's like, "Just drive her in here." And I'm like, "Bro, like, this truck's worth 250 grand, and it weighs 40,000 pounds for lack, or 80,000 pounds for lack, somewhere within that range. I don't drive it towards ponds ever, like ever. That doesn't happen. Period. Without walking in to check it out. Anyways, I wedged it in around the pond afterwards and dumped. And the whole time I was like, man, if one of the other drivers sent me a picture of the truck hanging over the side of some pond, I would lose my shit. Meanwhile, I'm like, "Oh, it's cool, bro." I'm like, "Hey, he needs fill." Like, fuck, I gotta get the fill in there. Like, I just.
How close did you get it for him? Like, were
From
you
the
right
pond.
at the edge of the pond? Yeah.
Oh, I was pretty close. Yeah, we were dumping this week in this like big hole in this field, which the guy ran up to me and was like, "Bring as much fill and cash here as you can." I'm like, "Oh, this is super legal for sure." We were doing it for another, like we were just driving the truck. So it wasn't my dump. Anyways, they fill this big hole, and the guy's like, back the truck up. And I'm like, the back tires of the truck are hanging over the edge as I dump it. And I'm like, bro, you have a D6 dozer. Like, if I'm 5 feet from the fucking hole, it's one push to push the whole triaxle in. The fuck am I doing here with my truck like fucking wedged? I'm like, fuck you, dude. This is not happening anymore.
It's also one pull to pull you out.
That's true.
If you were to go in, right?
Yeah, that's true. I agree. Yeah, like, I just like, anyways, like the guy's who's loading. He's a good guy. He's loading the truck, and he's like, "Think I can put this concrete in here with this dirt?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't fucking care. It's not my dump. like, don't give a shit what goes in the truck. This has nothing to do with me. I am purely transportation here, bro." Anyways, I don't know how that.
So it was, you started at his site and ended at his site? Like,
Yeah, it was
like you were-
his. Yeah, we were just providing the trucking, like literally
Okay.
just providing the trucking, and
so
so he's basically asking me what I could send to the dump, and I'm like, I don't know. I fucking care. I've never even been there before. Like, I don't give a shit what goes on. This is nothing. This is like way removed from me. Like, anyways, so the pond thing was what got me on that topic. The whole like going near the pond, like that pond actually was cool because it was fed from an upper pond, and then the water ran down and went through a windmill or some kind of, or whatever they call it, a water wheel, or I don't know, and it generated electricity for the house or something. I was like, wow, this pond is sick, bro. Like,
where did the water initially come from? Someone else's pond?
this pond up above.
But what fills the pond up above?
That I did not investigate. I dumped the fill and got the fuck out of there before someone got a picture of my truck. I was like, where's the neighbors? I'm fucking out of here. Whatever. This is not a truck with any branding on it. Let's get the fuck going. Like, not that I have a lot of branding on anything I own, but like there's a crown on the back of one of them. I guess it's like 4 feet wide.
Yeah.
Anyways, some other stuff happened to me this week. I don't know what the fuck it was. Whatever. Anyways,
It's
it was
Tuesday already? Holy shit.
last week for us was super slow, crazy slow. I don't know if it's just August or whatever. Like everyone's burned out, or like they just.
Well, we had some rain days that we haven't had like all summer, right?
That's
and I
true.
saw you posted like those bins sitting in your yard. I was going to ask you, like, what do you do on rain days? Because you must get no calls for bins, right?
Yeah. Well, I was making that video with all the bins in the yard. Actually, I made that video of all the bins in the yard, and then put it to the most. I downloaded an app that's called something Reels. The fuck is it called? Shit, that's the calendar. It's called Real Trends, and it tells you the newest trending music. So I was like, I'm gonna make a bunch of like videos that have jack fuck all to do with this music, and then just put this music to it and see what happens. And the video of the bins got like 12,000 views or something. It's a video of empty bins, but it's to the most trending Britney Spears. I don't know if that's the Britney Spears one, or there was one other one I made and put to Britney Spears just because I was like, I thought like this. Anyways, I'm making this video of the empty bins, and our mechanic was in the yard, and he said, "Oh, you're making like a flex video of empty bins?" And I said, "No, there's like 100 G's worth of fucking bins sitting in our yard, and I feel sick to my stomach because I'm not making any money with these fucking things, and they're all just sitting around doing jack shit, and I feel ill." Like but I just wasn't busy. I guess probably because of the rain, and it's August, and I think a lot of people are on holidays, or they're not. I think it's cyclical too. Like there was 2 weeks where we were out of bins, like we had no bins, and then now I think that maybe all our clients were digging their jobs, and now they're not digging, so they don't need the bins. We also got 2 more bins, and Chad didn't buy either of them, so that sucked.
Yeah, I need bins. Maybe I should take my bin truck down to see you. I keep saying, yeah, I'll order one today, and then I get busy, and then I don't order one.
The bins took. The 2 new ones took 14 weeks, I think, to get them.
See, they told me 4 to 6. I can do 4.
It could be a different. Oh, it's obviously a different supplier.
Yeah, different supplier down here.
Our bins are Mennonite made.
Mennonite.
They are,
wood,
yeah.
Like
No.
wood bins.
Well, if you're a Mennonite and you weld, apparently it's okay, and you can also send emails. I'm not being critical of anyone's religion. I'm just saying. Elias builds a mean bin and sends a great 2-word email. Bin ready. Pay me. I guess there's a limited amount of characters in an email if you're Mennonite. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. There's obviously some kind of rules.
I thought it was no electricity, or is that something else?
I think if it's involved with business, oh yeah, that's Amish. That makes sense. I think with business they're allowed electricity. No.
I don't know how they make a fucking great bin. I'm assuming there's some kind of electricity involved. Again, Cody's been there. Like I've sent her there to get bins. The problem is when you pick up 2 bins and you pile them on top of each other, or stand one bin up in the other bin that's on the truck's like 13.8. And since we already had the incident with the excavator, I'm a lot more conscious of making sure the truck's under 13.6.
Yeah.
Although the truck was under
high.
13.6 when the excavator hit the bridge. But anyways, I don't know. They make a good bin. Southway Bins. We're looking for sponsorship. Just saying.
They're never going to read or hear this because,
No.
I mean, they probably reached their energy quota for the day.
And I'm also going to put out there that like if it takes them 12 weeks to get me a bin, they don't need to sponsor this podcast to sell bins.
True.
I've seen them on Kijiji, so obviously that's okay.
Kijiji's okay for Mennonites.
Well, I think there was originally like a sales guy who wasn't a Mennonite who used to do all that stuff. Maybe that's the loophole. I don't know. Like the original guy I dealt with who retired, which I mean the guy must have sold a lot of bins. He retired from it. Or maybe he got retired by the Amish Mafia. Remember that show? I don't think
I do remember that
There
show.
was a reality show on
Yeah.
it, yeah.
he sold the bins to the wrong person.
Where is this place? St. Jacobs? Like, I know there's Mennonites down there.
Okay, I got. It's far away. That I can tell you. It takes all day to go there and get one bin and come back. That's why I said,
Like, which direction from where you are is it?
I'm okay. Like I'm just gonna look up bins on my because it'll come up probably in a invoice. Do you think it says on their invoice
Probably.
where they're from? It's far away, man. It's not really not close.
Far away is relative,
That's true.
St.
especially
Jacobs
because we have.
isn't far enough from you to be
So they're-
offended.
Southway Bins Incorporated is at 132921. That's a lot of numbers. Southgate Side Road 13, Proton Station, Ontario. NOC 1LO. So
Proton Station. Sounds
don't know.
nuclear.
I
Yeah.
have no idea where the fuck that is, but it's Cody's actually physically been there like at least twice, I think.
Proton Station. Grey Highlands, Ontario. It's 5 hours from me.
Dundalk, Ontario. That's what it
Oh
says
yeah, that's far.
on the email. They make
That's
a hell
closer
of
to
a,
like Owen Sound area.
they make a hell of a bin. We haven't had any problems with our bins. I mean, other than us putting like a skid steer through the back of one and stuff like, but that was not a construction problem. That was a Mike strapping the skid steer problem. So like, so Cody and I were doing this float move last year, and I had an excavator on the float, and she had SVL 97 brand new in the bin, and we drove it in forward, and I strapped it down. This thing has 0 hours on it, and the bin is like fucking brand new, like I don't know, a week old. And we get to Belleville at like 8:30 at night, like it's late, and Cody puts the bin up, and the machine moves a bit, and the bucket is so fresh and sharp it cuts the fucking strap, and the machine rockets backwards and hits the bin doors and pushes them out like a foot, and I'm like, fuck. It's a brand new machine and a brand new fucking bin. And then on the flip side of that, I'm like, okay, bigger problem. If the doors don't open, I don't have a saw to cut them open to get the fucking machine out of the bin in Belleville on Tuesday night at 9:00 now. So I would testify to the quality of a good Southway bin because the doors opened after getting impacted by an SVL 97 at a very steep angle on the bin truck. Like the doors opened perfectly and then closed back up and latched. And I was like, fucking great. So there was 2 bins at the time, and one of them was owned, 2 barn door bins at the time, and one of them was owned by another customer of ours. And I was like, well, this one is now ours permanently. We own this one. It's clearly destroyed, so we own it. The next week, another strap broke because we were kind of new at moving the machine around. And another machine went rocketing into the other bin, and I was like, well, this one is less bent, so this one still belongs to our customer because the first one is totally fucked. And so in the ongoing destroyed bin saga, the metal fabricator at our yard this year, I said, yo, Paul, can you like fix the doors on this bin? Because to buy new doors is like $1,000. And he's like, oh yeah, I can fix that, no problem. So he spends a couple hours, bends the doors back perfectly. Like they're mint, re-welds all the cracks. Like doors are fucking sick. I'm like, awesome. I get a call. We need a fill bin and 12 yards of HPV. Great, perfect. Head to Arntz, pick up 12 yards of HPV in the bin. The doors were straight, but there was a large gap under them.
Oh,
So I'm like driving down the road, and these guys in these triaxles that are like, I don't know, overloaded by 5,000 pounds or like 3 ton. they're like waving at me, bro, and I'm like, yeah, fuck off, dude. I can't be doing anything worse than you. Meanwhile, HPB is like pouring all over the fucking road.
Ah,
I finally see it in the mirror. I pull over. I'm like, holy fuck, that's not good. So I got like those blue shop towels. We keep them in the truck to wipe the mirrors down every morning. I'm stuffing the blue shop towels at the side of the road in this bin. Like, going, fuck, I hope Home Depot's not. I'm like, I'm 8 minutes from my destination. Fucking get these towels in there. And I fucking took the. So if anyone slid on HPB on Highway 7, Paver King had fuck all to do with that, just for the record. On Lake Ridge Road.
that's a
Someone else.
liability, that one.
And that's why you don't brand your bins.
That is why we don't brand our bins ever. But then I took it back to Paul, the metal fabricator, and said, "Yo, Paul, problem with the bin. It leaks like fuck." It's like, "Oh, I didn't know you guys were going to put small gravel in the bin." And I'm like, "I could see that. Most people view the bin as like a garbage thing, right?" I was like, "And like your trash bag's not going under the gap in the door." So he welded round bar all around all the doors. Actually, he did it in a couple of the bins, and now they don't leak at all, or they leak vastly less, enough that no one honks at you. That's really the goal.
Was your client upset that you didn't give him as much HPB as they ordered? How much did you lose?
Half yard,
Oh,
which is a lot. Like
I suppose.
spread all over the road in like 4 kilometers. Like a lot. It was a fair amount. Yeah, he didn't notice. Like it's so. Yeah, he didn't notice. Well, maybe he will now. I don't think he don't. For the record, because I know some people that do business with us listen to this podcast. It was Matt Beam who got fucked out of the half to quarter yard of HPB. So, if Matt, you're listening, I owe you a half yard of HPB. That got spread all over the road. But I think I might have told him about it when I got there. I was like, man, this bin was fucked. That's more like, oh shit, did anyone follow you to my job site? I'm like, no, man, it's cool. Like, I made sure no one was following me. Like, I took back roads, I did double turns, I ran through red lights. I made sure no one else followed me to the job site. This leaking bin, like, whatever.
I don't know if I would expect my bin guy to be, and maybe we went over this, like A1 all the time. I would expect some shady shit from a bin guy sometimes.
Thanks, bro.
No, I'm a bin guy too. I got a bin truck, right? But like, can you see my side of the like, or is it just me? Like the bin guy, he's just dropping the bin. He doesn't give a shit about anything. He just wants his bin.
I think that bin people have a bad reputation. Like, it's not our yard. It's like the guy who owns our yard is like a collector of Mack trucks, and specifically old ones that don't run. And there's like tons of them everywhere. And like everyone's always worried that if bylaw comes, they're gonna get pissed off about my 15 brand new bins. And I'm like, really, bro? Like a fucking some half buried Mack truck in the back. It's probably leaching God knows what all over the ground. You're worried, but people are like, yeah, well, bins. Fuck, man. I think that bins have a bad rap. It's like vacuum trucks. Vacuum trucks have a bad rap too. People always assume vacuum trucks are full of some kind of toxic waste. Like the average vacuum truck is vacuuming a hole for a hydro pole full of dirt.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
It's not vacuuming up toxic waste. Like,
yeah.
In general. But they have a. Do you think that vacuum trucks have a worse rap than bin people, or bin people are the top of?
All the vacuum trucks I see are clean and like new around here, at least. You know, like I never see, because those are easily what, 400 grand a piece.
Yeah,
not that it's that much more than a hook truck, right? Like a hook truck is 300. Easy.
Yeah, triaxle hook truck last year was 330.
Yeah, so I mean they're pretty close in price. It's just I don't see an old vacuum truck the way I see an old hook truck. I own an old hook truck, but I don't see them very often.
Do you feel are you going to brand the hook truck?
Yeah, we're trying. I've been nudging the decal guy for a week now, trying to say, hey, how about that one last truck you got to do for me? And
did the decal guy come up with the idea for the split trucks, or did you come up with it?
The split, like the...
Well, your trucks are black and white, right? It's like white, black, white, or something.
No, that's your truck, Mike. Didn't you
No.
used to have a truck that was half
Oh my
black and
God.
half white?
Yeah, now
Or-
it's all black.
Is it
Yeah,
really?
that-
Yeah, they're all
Oh, I didn't know
black.
that.
The only one that isn't black is the blue one. Well, because it's blue. That's so fucking stupid. Like, I can't believe this. The only truck that isn't black is the blue truck. The blue truck's not black, people. It's blue. Like, no, whatever. The new triaxle's not wrapped yet because it was running gravel before. The guy was working from 3:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon, 5 days a week. So but now that no one really, that truck mostly sits around the yard. Actually, it's been busy this week.
You really miss that guy, eh? I think every episode we've talked about
Yeah.
how this guy
Comes
that
up a
used to
lot.
that used to start at 3:30 in the morning is no longer working for you. Then
It's
and that
because the
truck
trucks.
is sitting.
and the trucks. Well, so like our other truck, one of the bin trucks has a cat motor, and everyone's like, "Fuck yeah, cat motors, man! Cat motors, fuck yeah!" And I'm like, "Well, Cat hasn't made an over-road motor in like I don't know, 15 years or something. Like they stopped making them." Which to me is probably a sign that they weren't the best. I know there's some really good cat motors, but the one I have is not. And there's like some valve on the back of it that's like controls the pressure in the injectors or something, and it's bleeding off too fast, so the truck periodically stalls and dies, which is inconvenient. So like trying to get this part for this truck, but because it's like 2006, it's fucking taking for and COVID. Oh yeah, if anything goes
Still.
wrong, it's great. I love COVID. Anything goes wrong for us, I just go, well, COVID.
Still
Yeah.
after
Why is your residential crew down to 2 people? COVID.
yeah.
It's not, but whatever. It's COVID.
Yeah.
COVID, man. Why are you behind? COVID. Yeah. New fucking variant coming out.
Yeah, when does that go away? When do we stop hearing that excuse of COVID, do you think?
Never, because everyone loves it.
Yeah, it's great.
It's never. It'll go on forever, I guess. Like, I guess. To be honest, I don't think I've ever. I may have used that, possibly. I don't know. When I was in Ottawa this week for soccer, I saw a Tomlinson bin, and it made me think of you, Chad.
Yeah, they're all over here. Like to us, they're like a major. We do some work with Tomlinson. They're huge for construction and bins and everything, just about down here.
I'm gonna grow my bin business to it and sell it to them.
To Tomlinson,
Yeah,
they'd probably bite. Maybe.
I don't think they'd buy my 2006 and 2009 bin trucks.
Yeah,
Their trucks are cable and rails too.
Yeah, they don't have any hook trucks. It's all cable.
Hook trucks dump better. They dump more like a dump truck, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
cable rail trucks, the angle's not, because the rails hit the ground before the angle gets big enough to really dump it's a pain in the ass to dump the bins.
They're not mostly aggregate dumping trucks, like they're refuse, like garbage.
Garbage.
Down here anyway, yeah, like you're doing a house demo or something, then you get a Tomlinson bin or something like that.
Maybe the bins get a bad rap because of the garbage side.
Probably.
I've been inspired by Mike's stories of these 4-yard bins. I started looking at like companies that were for sale that had like 2 single axle hook trucks and like 40 bins. So like maybe I can develop the 4-yard bin business in Durham. Like I'm not even fucking joking around. Like it seemed like a great business to be in when you were like I was like, man, that's sick. The bins aren't super heavy. You're getting what were
access.
What were they in Kitchener?
How much?
Yeah.
So if I go through one supplier, I think it's like 200, low 200s. If I'm like late and I need it like right away, it's about 300.
Yeah. That's the business I want to like. I was also looking at some of the new companies. So a bunch of bin people followed me, so I started following them. And I think they were probably disappointed when they started following me because they probably thought it was like a bin-centered account and then found out it's not at all. It's probably from that video because that like
The Britney Spears video.
viral music. The viral music brings in the people, man. Like pet peeve. people used to make real content for social media. Like social media, like Instagram in particular used to be real content. Like people took time making content. Now people just record themselves doing virtually anything, find the most viral music they can find, apply it to the video, even though the viral music has absolutely nothing to do with the video, and then put it out there and get to, and like, oh yeah, look, I'm like, really? Like that's what, like, as someone who's been doing it for a really long time, I used to like pride myself on making legitimate content. Like I think that, we make some like, legitimate like videos and joking stuff, and like, and I'm like, man, I would have way more followers if I just swung this excavator in a circle and then picked some kind of viral like music about it raining and then fucking said, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna swing my excavator around
In a
tomorrow
circle.
to fancy music.
You have to look, whatever music it suggests, use that music. That's what I did.
Does it automatically make a suggestion, or do I?
Well, if you hit the music
After.
thing, it'll say search, and you hit search, and it brings up the top music.
Oh, automatic. So why did you need this special app that told you what?
Well, because this one actually tells you like it tells you the developing. This
Oh.
app, actually, it's actually a pretty cool app. Like I know I'm being critical of it a lot, but like it actually tells you. It actually tells you how many videos have been made with that music in the last hour, and how many views. Like it lets you know where these clips are going up and down. It doesn't have to be music. It could be someone saying something, a name, too, like, or whatever. Like, there's these clips that people talk to, and then everyone uses the same talking in their clips.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I guess like the days of actual content are over, maybe. Like,
I think TikTok had a big play in sort of that, because like, then Instagram saw like what TikTok was doing, and then Instagram really tried to push in that direction, right?
Yeah.
Where it's more so just about, like as soon as people understand how to gamify a platform, like everybody learns how to do that, right? So like right now, like it's exactly what you're saying, where like you just choose the catchy something and put it on a reel, and it doesn't have to make sense or anything. It's just got to be catchy, and
the algorithm is based on the music, not
Right.
the actual video. No,
Right.
They don't even give a shit what's in the video. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm obviously not an expert, but
neither am I.
it seems like you're right. Like people are gaming the system by just using whatever popular music is and like applying it to it.
And
But the videos have nothing to do. Like at one time there was like a popular music clip, and then people would make videos to suit that clip.
Yeah.
Now it's like me smashing this beer bottle, putting it to the latest, I don't know, whatever song my daughter would know. Maybe. It's got nothing to do. The two are not correlated anymore. To
Yeah.
me.
We mentioned, I think in like the first episode, that we think like each of our accounts is shadow banned. We're just not getting the reach, blah blah blah. But actually, I listened to an interview with Zuckerberg on the Joe Rogan podcast, and then he brought this up, that a lot of people think that they're shadow banned, blah blah blah. And Zuckerberg's response was, well, maybe you're not shadow banned. Maybe you just make bad content. So
I can get behind
is that the thing? Are we
I have
shadow
nothing
banned?
to offer anyone.
You don't
Shit.
you don't achieve 170th most downloaded podcast by busting out great fucking content, bro. You just don't achieve those things. Maybe legitimate point. Maybe I think my content's great, but the rest of the world thinks it's shit. That's true. I know. I like being shadow banned better. Fuck you, Mike.
It's
Maybe the content is shit. Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I
think there's something going on.
I don't know. I'm fine either way. What does it matter?
Well, I don't know. You made it like You made a second account just for this podcast. So
Yeah, but I have no illusions that that's going to take off and make me some superstar either. You know, like
dude,
I'm just.
You are a star of the 170th most downloaded podcast.
Do you know how many people have messaged sorry, let me start over. Enough people have messaged me saying, I love Mike on that podcast. Yeah, I know. I get it. Mike carries us a little bit here, but you don't have to rub it in so soon. It's only been 2 episodes.
Well, so just to say this, there's 2 mics in one chat.
Yeah.
So if you expected dominance, you came to the wrong fucking game.
No, I know sort of where I stand. Or sit.
2 mics in one chat. Like, I don't.
I just assume anytime anybody compliments a mic in the room, it's just directed at me. So I just like feed my ego that way.
Sure.
I didn't want to start a fight between the 2 of you. That's why I said Mike. And not anything else.
Chad's
I didn't want the egos to take off
in this podcast.
The ego. Wow.
I didn't want anyone's ego to get.
You know, back when we were the 400th most downloaded podcast, and I dreamed about us being the 170th most downloaded podcast, I was like, will we all still be friends then? We'll be able to get along when we're the 170th. Like, what will we still be able to cooperate, or will our egos get in the way once we break the 200 most downloaded podcast?
Nothing tests a relationship more than getting the 170th downloaded podcast.
Yeah, there's no truer test of a love of 3 guys that don't live remotely but hear each other than being the 100th. Don't let it break you guys up. Don't. Chad, are you going to be the Yoko Ono of the mics?
I have the hair for it, I think, right? But I think that's it. That's as close as I'm going to get. By the time this comes out, though, we might not be 170. We might be better or worse, I suppose, right? Could always go in the opposite direction.
I try to spend a lot of time promoting it because I'm obsessed with getting to 165. I'm going to be honest.
That's the number, the magic number.
It's a goal to set.
Where is the goal? 157. I don't know. Like, what are we striving for here? Like, what was the goal? I don't know. Did people? Because I could never see the thing. Did people actually subscribe to this, Mike?
Yeah, I guess I can get into the numbers with you guys maybe after, but people
God
subscribe to this.
I felt bad that we didn't put out the even worst hour last week.
I think that's going to be very random and sporadic because for the most part, like if we go over our hour, that episode really does flow for that hour and even more so. To be able to like break off a piece of that episode and put it on our worst hour. But some episodes that we've done, it like there's a definitive like break in the episode, and then we just continue talking, right?
Now where we're talking about a break, this is the break. Different topic. Totally new topic.
So I would say those worst hours are more so a bonus that people can kind of look forward to.